So the pipe bombs went to Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. One was sent to CNN, addressed to John Brennan, who was Obama's CIA director and who was fired, at least, well, he had his security clearance stripped. These are all enemies of the people, by the way. CNN, who else? Maxine Waters, and Eric Holder. The thing that is very disturbing to me is this bullshit rhetoric about both sides, blah, blah, blah. Both sides are not responsible for this. The Christian fascist political right wing in this country is solely responsible for all the hatred, all the divisiveness, all this nasty rhetoric. They have been building on this bullshit for the past 35 years. It gave birth to that lump of human waste, Rush Limbaugh, who today suggested that the whole operation was done by Democrats. This is how fucked up they are. So every time I hear that, every time I hear, for example, in the New York Times, listen to this. Coming less than 2 weeks before the midterm elections, the discovery of the pipe bombs reverberated across the country already on edge, stirring anew questions about whether political discourse has grown too vitriolic. Political discourse has not. Anything that comes out of the Christian fascist right has. Starting with this piece of shit, Trump, working its way through his vice president, Mike Pence, all the way down the sewer line until you get to the very bottom, which is where the Fox News organization, if you can call it that, resides, and people like Limbaugh. Liberals have never, fucking never done anything like this. Liberals have not spent 35 years demonizing Republicans, ripping this country to pieces, lying, cheating, stealing, defrauding. Remember what Trump said during the campaign? That Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama founded ISIS, a terror organization. It's Trump who has called the media, the news media, the enemy of the people. You never fucking heard liberals in this country use that kind of language. Never. So, to the folks who are saying, well, it's both sides, you're out of your fucking mind. It is not both sides. When the fuck did anybody on the left say that Donald Trump founded ISIS? Who on the left spent 3 or 4 years screaming and frothing at the mouth that Donald Trump was not a U.S. citizen? This is bullshit. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And any American who buys into this idea, well, both sides, you're fucking crazy too. It is not both sides. It never has been. The New York Times' Jeremy Peters was on MSNBC today. And Peters said, quote, let's not pretend as if the president didn't imply the other night that George Soros was behind the funding of the immigrant caravan that's headed north out of Central America. The same speech in which this lying piece of fucking waste, Trump, said he admired the member of Congress who body slammed a reporter. Remember that? Oh, that's my kind of guy. Beat the fuck out of him. Yeah. The mob that you've heard about, this mob of Christian fascist Trump supporters. That's the mob. And to believe otherwise is to be so self-delusional, you might as well fucking go vote for people on the right. And then Trump today. And keep in mind, this week he praised this shit congressman who body slammed a journalist for asking the congressman before he was elected. The people of Montana went ahead and voted for him. You fuckers, you goddamn idiots in Montana. What is wrong with you? Fuck you. Trump today said this. In these times, we have to unify, as he read this off a teleprompter. We have to come together and send one very clear and strong message that acts of threats or political violence have no place in the United States of America. Then shut the fuck up, Trump. No, better yet, resign. Resign. You're the one doing this. The balls on this guy. In these times, we have to unify because everything I say is so fucking incendiary, and I don't care. I'm having fun. We're supposed to believe that both sides are responsible. When Trump says Obama and Clinton, I can't get over that one. Obama and Clinton founded, he emphasized, founded ISIS. And look at who is targeted. People who Trump has been demonizing over and over and over again. And then this thug asshole Limbaugh makes a suggestion today, and several other people in the right-wing sewer. Immediately, oh, it's got to be a false flag operation. Democrats did this. Republicans would never do it. What did Limbaugh say? If Republicans did it, the bombs would have gone off. Do you get that message? Do you understand what the pig man, what the drug-addled bag of fat, what he's saying? Because he knows, Limbaugh knows, this fascist fucker, he knows. He's been stirring this shit for 35 years. I can't believe that. He's still there. He hasn't keeled over with a massive coronary or from his drug addictions. I can't believe it. The Women's March issued a statement today following the targeted mail bomb attempts. Here's what the Women's March had to say. Following the discovery of mail bombs to numerous Democratic Party leaders and supporters Tuesday and Wednesday, Women's March released the following statement, quote, "We are witnessing a coordinated effort to enact mass violence against political leaders and staunch critics of the administration in the United States. It is not a coincidence that these escalated acts of violence have followed verbal attacks from Donald Trump on the very people targeted, from Trump's political opponents to a Holocaust survivor who has long been the fixation of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories." That, of course, is Soros. "Death threats and rape threats, not to mention actual violence and murder, have become routine for far too many high-profile figures of the resistance, including every woman of color on the Women's March leadership team. Just months ago, Vermont's only black state legislator stepped down in a desperate attempt to stop the mounting death threats against her family. These attempted bombings are part of an ongoing pattern of violence from right-wing extremists. The president's rhetoric and the right-wing extremist acts of violence that he himself has stoked will not keep the majority of people who believe in democracy from exercising our right to free speech and taking action to defend our rights." End quote. Jesus Christ. an ongoing pattern of violence from right-wing extremists. They've been slowly cranking it up. The Christians and the political fascists, they're all the same. They have been slowly cranking it up. And I have never been one to falsely cry fire in a crowded theater. But what I see happening, because it's not going to stop, as long as Trump is president, and even after the fucker is gone, this movement of Christian fascism has become so big, and they have so much media under their control that I don't see this letting up. I don't. Until they are finally defeated. I mean defeated. So I was watching Trump when he gave his little, it took hours before this fucker even opened his mouth. Somebody had to write it for him. Yeah, Trump was at a White House event this afternoon on his schedule where he signed an anti-opioid addiction bill into law. Of course, there's no money to fund any of the efforts to get people off opioids. It's all bullshit. And the audience for that signing, I don't know who the fuck those white people were, those well-dressed white people. I have no idea who they were. But when he said this, I just want to tell you that in these times we have to unify. We have to come together and send one very clear, strong, unmistakable message that acts or threats of political violence of any kind have no place in the United States of America. When he said that, all these white people leaped to their feet and applauded him, as if they were willing to just totally ignore the fact that he is the distributor of these verbal threats of political violence every fucking time he opens his mouth. He will tonight when he's in Wisconsin. 7:30 Eastern Time, that's when it's going to be carried. Where, Kathy?
Oh, online.
Online. Oh my God. So all the white people jumped to their feet and wildly applauded this filthy Nazi because I just want to say, has no kind of place in the United States of America unless I fucking do it. He should have added that. Eric Holder, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, John Brennan, Maxine Waters. And Trump explicitly criticized and demonized every single person that received these devices today. That's it. That's his hit list. He put the fucking list together, and some knuckle-dragging fucker out there, some cowardly little Christian Nazi, did this. Maybe a couple of them. Following Trump's prime directives: violence, disruption, lies, deceit, dishonor. That's Trump. Trump did not address criticism that he's helped contribute to the toxic political environment in the U.S. He didn't contribute to it. He started it. He originated it. This fucking piece of shit has been screaming his garbage from New York for the past 20 years. And for Obama's entire presidency. This thug, this Nazi, used the worst kind of racism that he could come up with, short of calling Obama a nigger. He used the worst kind of racism, saying Obama wasn't even an American citizen. Remember when he said his people were in Hawaii checking Obama's birth certificate? This lying son of a bitch. Trump declared the mailing of these devices an egregious act. And he said, we hold it abhorrent to everything we hold dear and sacred as Americans. We are extremely angry, upset, unhappy about what we witnessed this morning, and we will get to the bottom of it. Yes, you will, won't you? You lying fucker, you. You will get to the bottom of it. I'm sure he's going to blame it on the Chinese. At no time did he refer to this as an act of domestic terrorism, even though FBI officials and top stupid fucking Republican lawmakers have labeled it that way. Republican lawmakers who will do nothing, nothing, nothing to end this madness. Nothing. Jesus Christ. And you know it's a Trump supporter because the package to John Brennan, the former head of the CIA, was mailed to the offices of CNN. But Brennan is not a contributor to CNN. He's a contributor to NBC and MSNBC. So once again, the incredible, stinking ignorance of these Trump supporters shows forth. They don't even know where to mail their fucking terrorist packages. And Soros, how many times in the past 3 or 4 days have I mentioned that Trump and these right-wing devils continue to target Soros, a billionaire who contributes to political causes? They don't attack the right-wing billionaires who contribute to political causes, the Christian fuckers, of course not. But Soros is a Jew. And since he's a Jew, the anti-Semitism just naturally congeals in these fuckers and comes out with attacks on Soros. Trump is an anti-Semite too. Oh, listen, the fact that his son-in-law is a Jew and his wife converted to Judaism and his grandchildren are Jews, that doesn't mean a fucking thing to him. That means nothing to him. Trump has labeled Democrats an angry mob because of the way the protests were put together to stop the incipient rapist Brett Kavanaugh, the vicious fucking drunk Brett Kavanaugh, from becoming a Supreme Court justice. And this representative from Montana that Trump praised, Greg Gianforte, he has a net worth, I think I read today, of $600 million. He's the richest member of the House of Representatives. That's Trump's kind of guy, especially when he assaults a member of the media. CNN President Jeff Zucker tore into Trump after the bastard spoke. Zucker said that Trump has a total and complete lack of understanding of the seriousness of his attacks against the media. Zucker, in a statement, said, "Words matter. Thus far, they, rather than he, they have shown no comprehension of that." People who go to those fucking Nazi rallies of Trump's regularly respond when Trump starts in on Democrats or women with CNN sucks or lock her up. We're going to take a break. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.